awit ng pastor. Si Yahweh ang aking pastor, hindi ako magugul. Ako'y pinahihimlan sa mainam na pastulan at inakay niya ako sa tahimik na batisan. Binibigyan niya ako ng bagong kalakasan at sangayon sa pangako na kaniyang binitiwan. Sa matuwid na landasin, doon ako inaakay. Kahit na ang daang iyo'y tumatahak sa kagulan, hindi ako matatakot pagkat ika'y kaagapan. Ang tungkod mo at pamalo ang gabay ko at sanggalang. Sa harapan ng lingkod mo, ikaw ay may handang ulam. Ito'y iyong ginagawang nakikita ng kaawa. Nalulugod ka sa akin na ulo ko ay langisan. At pati na ang saro ko ay iyong pinaaabang. Tunay ang pag-ibig at ang iyong kabutihan. Sa akin tataglayin habang ako'y nabubuhay. Doon ako sa templo mo, lalag at mananahan.
Hello Maligayans! Ito po ang ating Bible verse para sa araw na ito. Hebreo chapter 11 verse 6. Hindi maaaring kalugdan ng Diyos ang walang pananampalataya sa Kanya, sapagkat ang sinumang lumalapit sa Diyos ay dapat sumampalatayang may Diyos at Siya ang nagbibigay ng gantimpala sa mga humahanap sa Kanya. Ayon po sa verse na ito na huwag daw po tayong mawalan ng pag-asa sapagkat ang Diyos ang palagi nating kasama. Lahat ng pagsubok ay may dahilan. Lahat ng paghihirap ay may katapusan. Lahat ng problema ay may solusyon. Lahat ng pagbagsak ay may pagbangon. Ito po ang tandaan ng bawat isa sa atin. Wala tayong hindi malalampasan, wala tayong hindi mapapagtagumpayan, dahil ang Diyos ang ating sandigan. At ito po ang Bible verse for the day.
To you with all my heart, hear my prayer, I raise them all into your hands.
Come to me and keep me safe in your arms. Strengthen me to face the day, for you I stand.
Even if the sadness stay with me,
understand to follow your commands. I entrust my life into your care. My Lord, fill me with your love, fill me with your truth, fill me with your kindness. My Lord, let your goodness shine. Let me speak your truth. Let me be the bearer of your love.
Every day, let me proclaim and testify in your word. Show me your way, for you are light.
you are Lord. sky. Grant me what you desire. I raise all my voice, Lord, sing with me. My Lord, fill me with your love, fill me with your truth, fill me with your kindness. My Lord, let your goodness shine, let me speak your truth, let me be the bearer of your
sila mga hero. Okay, nag-e-echo tayo. Comment po kung ano, ay paano nga nila tayo maririnig, wala nga tayong audio. Okay, ayan, naririnig niyo na ba kami dyan sa live stream natin? Pa-comment naman kung okay na. Ayan, okay na lang po. Thank you so much sa mga nagbibigay ng response. Mahalaga po yan. Okay, so simulan na natin, partner. Yes, simulan na natin. Okay, to our beloved school principal, Dr. Wilma C. Bayo, to our newest public schools district supervisor, Dr. Yvette Yusinbot, to the school coordinator of GUIDE, Gender and Development, Ma'am Annalyn Yucasais, together with her master teacher in charge, Ma'am Celia Arden Valley, to all the master teachers here, teachers. To my partner who was celebrating her birthday for today, happy birthday! Ayan, happy birthday! And to all the viewers on the YouTube Live, ayan, balikan ko lang si Ma'am Dale ng happy birthday! Happy birthday! Guys, again, happy birthday! Ayan na, partner. So welcome to 3-day hybrid seminar on gender and development for teachers and parents with the theme of Gender Equality Through School
providing a safe and inclusive learning environment using positive discipline day 1.
Yes, so day 1, yes, day 1. Day hanggang day 3 po tayo, okay? Kaya walang video sa ating hybrid seminar.
Hanggang October 21.
Yes, okay. So again, I'm Catherine G. Corona.
And I am Miss Dale D. Manyares.
We are your Masters of Ceremony for today's seminar.
So to formally start our program, may I call in Ma'am Rufes C. Aliwate for the opening prayer and Ma'am Joy S. Hatulan for the nationalistic song. May I request everyone to stand.
Sige po, sa umaga po ito, namin ang presensya ng ating Panginoon. Kay Lord God Jesus, Panginoon, thank you, Lord God, we praise your name, O Lord, sa umaga po ito, Panginoon. Wala po kami itinataas, kundi ang inyong makapangyarihang pangalan. Salamat na po, Panginoon, sa araw na ito, na sa pagsasagawa mo namin ang unang araw ng singal namin sa Gender and Development, Panginoon, ay kayo po ang aming kasama sa pagsisimula ng programa nito. Salamat po sa magandang panahon, magandang internet connection, Panginoon, lalo po sa mga nasa tahanan, na nanonood Panginoon sa oras na ito. Bigyan niyo po sila ng magandang signal, Panginoon, upang ang lahat po ng mga mensahe na ipapahagi ng mga tagapagsalita sa araw na ito ay aming maunawaan at magagamit po namin sa aming pakikisalamuha sa aming kapwa at magagamit po namin upang kami ay lalong maging mabuting mamamayan ng aming bansa. Panginoon, salamat po sapagkat kayo po ang makapangyarihang Diyos na tagapag-ayos ng anumang po mga problema, Panginoon. Salamat po na sa araw na ito, lahat po ng mga tao na involved sa gawain ito, Panginoon, bigyan niyo sila ng katalinuhan, hindi po namin ang Islam and knowledge, Panginoon, na ibigay niyo sa kanila. Lalo-lalo na po ang inyong dadalhin na tagapagsalita, Panginoon, sa araw na ito. Itago niyo po sila sa inyong likuran upang ang lahat ng mga salitang lumabas sa kanilang mga bibig ay maging mabuting, Panginoon, na pagkukunan namin ng mga aral sa buhay. Lahat po ng mga mensahe, lahat po ng topics ay pinagkakatiwala namin sa inyo sa araw nito. Sa inyo po ang kadakilaan, ang kataas-taasang papuri sa pangalan ng Panginoong Yesus. Amen.
Bayang magiliw, pero sa silanganan, alam ng puso sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin kita masisingil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mo bangag, ay ilang ang tula at awit sa paglayang tinawaan. Ang kisap ng watawat mo'y nagumpay na nagiging, ang bituin at araw niya ay nagpapalit magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng maraming pagsita, mayayangin sa likod. Aming ligaya naman may mamagin, at namatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Ayan, thank you so much po, Ma'am Aliwate and Ma'am Haturan. And now, to give us a positive energy for the day, let's welcome the grade 2 teachers to give us an energizer. Grade 2, Ma'am.
And let us give them a round of applause.
Yes.
Bakit nga ba di mabubuhay ang bayan kung walang kababaihan? Ngunit kung tayo'y saktan parang walang hanggan. Bakit nga ba nakaguhit sa ating mukha na tayong lahat ay biktima ng kalupitan, karahasan, pilit tayong dinadapa. Isang bilyong babae ang babangon, ito na ang ating panahon. Bangon, babae, bangon, ito na ang ating panahon. Itaas ang kamay, at tayo'y lalaban ng sabay-sabay. Bawat tindak, bawat galaw, buong kataway sumisigaw. Bangon, babae, bangon, ito na ang ating panahon. Isang bilyong babae ang babangon, ito na ang ating panahon. Bangon, bangon, no one can put us down, no one can hurt us now. Rise up and fight, rise up from the ground. Bangon, bangon, no one can put us down, no one can hurt us now. Rise up and fight, rise up from the ground. Titigil ng panggagahasa, huwag matakot at lumaban na. Tama na ang pang-aabuso, tumayo tayo, kaya natin ito. Bilyong babae ang babangon, tayo ang Gabriela ng ating panahon. Bangon, babae, bangon, ito na ang ating panahon. Itaas ang kamay, at tayo'y lalaban ng sabay-sabay. Bawat tindak, bawat galaw, buong kataway sumisigaw. Bangon, babae, bangon, ito na ang ating panahon. Bangon, babae, bangon, ito na ang ating panahon. Itaas ang kamay, at tayo'y lalaban ng sabay-sabay. Bawat tindak, bawat galaw, buong kataway sumisigaw. Bangon, babae, bangon, ito na ang ating panahon.
Arthur.
Yes, siyempre.
Ayan. So, dahil na-energize na tayo, ngayon naman, tumawa na tayo. Okay, Ma'am Lady Gracie De Leon.
Let's give her a big round of applause.
Okay, good morning everyone. Good morning. For the checking of attendance po, sa lahat po ng nasa StreamYard via YouTube, maaari pong mag-comment po sa comment box ng pangalan po ng bata, grade, section, and advisor. Ayan, para makita po natin kung ilan po ang nanonood sa atin ngayon. Okay, and for the checking of attendance po for teachers, tatuagin ko po ang kanilang mga representative. Mag-start po tayo sa grade 5 sa kanilang chairman na si Ma'am Dale Banyares.
Yay! O, palakpakan ng grade 5, 11 yung present sa library at yung iba po nanonood online. Okay, thank you po. And for the grade 3, na representative po ng grade 3 ay si Ma'am Cecilia Castorito. Okay, palakpakan po natin, Ma'am. Ang grade 3 naman po ay perfect attendance. Tatlo po ang nasa library at ang iba po ay online. Okay, and for the grade 1 po, tawagin po natin yung representative na grade 1, si Ma'am Elisa Peralta. Good morning po sa lahat. Ang grade 1 po ay 26 out of 26. Yung iba nandito po face-to-face nanonood at yung iba nasa online po. Thank you. Okay, and for the kinder po, ako na po ang sabi ng attendance ng kinder. Perfect attendance po kami. Yung iba pong AM teachers ay nasa baba po nagkaklase. And for the PM teachers po, 7 out of 8. Yung isa po ay naka-maternity leave, si Ma'am Tin Boras. Thank you po. Ayan, thank you so much, Ma'am De Leon. Grabe, ang sisipag talaga ng mga teachers natin. All present. O, palakpakan naman po natin.
Siyempre, yan. Huwag mo kalimutan mag-screenshot partner, di ba?
Mag-screenshot.
Attendance.
Yes.
Okay.
Sir Julian, pwede ba namin makita kung anong grade ang madaming nanonood ngayon? O, tingnan natin sa ating comment section.
Ayan. Pasuyo po sa mga advisor. Isend na po sa ating mga group chats.
Ayan, Ayesha Nicole, shout out sa iyo, kay J. Lord, grade 3, Ma'am Atadero, kay Ma'am Binuya Alwin Kyle, sino pa partner?
Wala akong makita partner. Nasa na ba yan? Ayan, nandiyan si Dwayne R. Guayco from grade 3. Alam kay Mama Lovely.
Ayan. Grade 1, mapagkakatiwalaan. Ayan, nandito din si Ma'am Peralta, si Precious Makapagal. Grade 5, parang walang grade 5. Nandito lahat ng teachers ng grade 5.
Kinder, meron na rin tayong
Kinder, grade 3, grade 4. Ayan, ang mga grade 4 kasi natin na kaklase.
Tsaka grade 6, di ba nasa klase?
Yes, nasa klase sila.
Nag-aaral sila ng mabuti. Okay, so now let's move on our seminar. So let's welcome Ma'am Ruela S.P. Villarreal to give us the rules and seminar flow. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Good day, participant. This is going to be fun-filled webinar. Just remember to follow these few online rules in our webinar. Number 1, in line with the Data Privacy Act, we would like to inform you that this webinar is recorded. Your participation means that you are giving consent to be recorded. Number 2, be on time. Be here 10 minutes before the webinar starts. Number 3, be prepared. Find a quiet place free from distractions. Be sure that your gadget is charged and use headphones if you have them. Number 4, keep your microphone on mute. If you would like to speak, click the hand raise icon or say permission to speak, then wait for the facilitator to address your concern. Number 5, be responsible in the chat box. Use the chat box for webinar-related matters only. Number 6, take down notes. Writing down notes will help you remember important concepts from the webinar. Number 7, be fully present. Pay attention to what the speaker is sharing and participate actively. And lastly, number 8, accomplish the attendance. Do not forget to accomplish the attendance.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Villarreal. So now let us proceed for the opening remarks. In behalf of our principal, Dr. Wilma C. Manyo, may I call in our master teacher too, Mrs. Mary June P. Duero.
Let's give her a big round of applause.
Good morning! Ay, parang kulang pa yung energy. Good morning! Okay, so isang maganda at mapagpalang umaga po sa lahat. Sa lahat ng nanonood sa ating live stream, at saka yung mga nandito po na mga kaguruan, mga nasa live stream din, no? Talagang kahit nasa biyahe sila ay talagang nood na nood talaga sila sa ating 3-day seminar. Okay, so sa mga magulang din po na nasa live stream at mga bata, ha, hello! Ayan. So, especially sa magandang umaga din po sa aking guest speaker from today, for today, na galing pa po sa Division of Manila, si Dr. Reynaldo Pineda, Jr., Public School Division Supervisor of Manila. And of course, sa ating supervisor po na si Dr. Senyor at sa ating pasipag at magandang unang guro, Dr. Wilma Sibanyo. Good morning po mga sir and ma'am. So, ina-expect ko na talagang marami tayong matututunan sa 3 araw na seminar na to about gender and development. So again, isang maganda at papagpalang umaga po sa lahat.
Ayan, thank you so much, Ma'am June.
Thank you so much, Ma'am June.
Ayan, to give us an inspirational message, let's welcome our Public Schools District Supervisor, Dr. Odette U. Simeon. No? For an important reason daw po, Dr. Odette will not be around for today, but tomorrow, present po si Sir at makakasama po natin siya sa ating live streaming.
Yes, excited na po kami, Dr. Senyor, na makita kayo at syempre makasama kayo sa mga susunod na school programs. Okay, so let us proceed now for the overview or the rationale of this seminar. Ano ba? Para saan ba? Bakit ba may ganitong seminar? So, Ma'am Celia Artobali, the master teacher in charge, will explain that to us. So, welcome, Ma'am Tombali. So, let us give her a round of applause. Ilayin mo, Ma'am.
To our dynamic PSDS, Sir Odette Simeon, to our energetic principal, Ma'am Wilma Simanyo, to all master teachers, our guest, Dr. Reynaldo S. Pineda Jr., PSDS Manila, beautiful teachers and parents of Maligaya Elementary School, a blessed morning. Gender inequality, which results to discrimination, and appreciation on R. 89262. Anti-violence against women and children has been considered as one of the problems faced by the society nowadays because many people are lack of information about the importance of gender equality. It is important that everyone must realize the roles of women in the nation building. Our students, parents, and teachers need to abreast themselves on this existing dilemmas and about to adopt the best strategy that could combat the negative effect brought about this violence against women and children into our society. The school ought to address this concern for the betterment and full awareness of one of the programs of the government, which is gender and development, to support the so-called sustainable development. Children come into this world helpless and unable to fully develop without us. We, as teachers and our parents, our job is to nurture them and to teach them how to live. This is no easy task. On some days, our classes are exciting, fun, and joyful, places to learn for our students and ourselves. On the other days, we may feel tense and uncertain about our ability to do our job. Effective discipline is positive and constructive. It involves setting goals for learning and finding constructive solutions to challenging situations. Schools should respect children's developmental levels, the rights to dignity and physical integrity, and the right to participate fully in their learning. The change from using physical punishment of children to positive discipline will be difficult and not happen overnight. For this to be possible, the educational community will need to support teachers as children may be receiving contradictory messages in the home. Teachers will need support from their school administration, from each other, and from other concerned organizations. Hence, the Department of Education issues the cross-gender responsive basic education policy in line with its gender and development mandate that is stipulated in the 1987 Philippine Constitution Act number 9710 or the Magna Carta of Women, RA 10533 or the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013 and the Philippine International Human Rights Commitments to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Convention of the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, and the Convention of the Rights of the Child, among others. Though this policy, the DepEd commits to integrate the principles of gender equality, gender sensitivity, non-discrimination, and human rights in the provision and governance of basic education. This is in line with the DepEd's mandate to ensure access to quality basic education for all. In response, Maligaya Elementary School will conduct a hybrid seminar on gender development training for teachers and parents to help promote positive discipline and to be aware of the gender issues, gender-based violence, gender mainstreaming in the new normal education. It is also to provide awareness and the challenges faced by the teachers and parents in rearing children. After the seminar, it is expected that participants will be fully aware and understood gender equality through school, providing a safe and inclusive learning environment using positive discipline that has been discussed. Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Celia Artibali, for a detailed overview and rationale of this seminar. To introduce our first speaker and also our guest speaker for today, let's welcome our God School Coordinator, no other than Ma'am Annalyn U. Casares. Let us give her a round of applause.
Hello po, isang mapagpalang umaga po. Ayan. Ayan, muli, isang mapagpalang umaga po sa inyong lahat, lalo-lalo na po sa ating mahal na punong guro, Dr. Dimas Simanyo, and our PSDS of QC, Dr. Odette Simeon, and to our master teachers, especially the master teacher in charge in our 3-day hybrid seminar, and sa mga lahat po na nanonood via YouTube. Ayan, maraming salamat po. Ayan, ngayon po, to introduce our first speaker to our first day seminar, he is, okay, he is a professor in Philippine University and a public schools district supervisor in Division of Manila. He is an education consultant and an international research presenter and also a fellow William Institute Doctor in Education and the Director Research and Continuing Education Thesis Dissertation Advisor, the author, and a professor. Ayan. Pinapakilala ko po si Dr. Ricardo F. Pineda Jr. Basta lang si Garo palakpakan siya.
Okay, thank you so much. Naririnig po ba ako? Naririnig ako, ma'am. Diyan. Hello? Hello po? Ma'am Ann? Okay. Hello, Ma'am Ann? Loud and clear ba, sir? Hello po, sir?
Yes, sir, naririnig po.
Ganon. Okay, thank you so much for the response, Sir Jolene. No, naririnig pala ako. Okay, so good morning once again. Thank you so much, Ma'am Ann Casais. She was my student in the grad school sa PWU, Philippine Women's University. Thank you, Ma'am. Excited ako ngayon na makaharap ang ating mga panauhin dyan, Lalong-lalo na, I am very happy, to greet our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Jeneline Rose B. Corpus, na siya ang aking approving authority noong ako ay nagiging PSDS dito sa DepEd Manila in 2019. And of course, good morning also to the PSDS of QC, Dr. Odette Simeon, and to the principal, Dr. Wilma Manio, and the OIC, Ma'am Mary Duero, and to our Master Teacher 2 President, Ma'am Magdalena de la Cuesta, MP2, Ma'am Celia Tombali, MP1, all the MPs, at ang ating GPTA President, Mr. Christopher Abaycar. At of course, sa lahat ng 161 na mga maliligayang guro sa Maligaya Elementary School, and sa ating nasisiyahan na 5,832 pupils, at sa mga joyous, happy, joyful, merry parents natin dyan sa QC, and sa lahat ng stakeholders ng school, isang mapagpalang umaga po sa ating lahat. I am so honored na ako ay kabahagi ng inyong 3-day hybrid gender and development seminar for teachers and parents. So the topic which I'm going to discuss today is only given 1 hour. So allow me to share my prepared topic. All right. So once again, may I present to you Republic Act number 9262, okay, which is known to be the Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act of 2004, or popularly known as the VAUC. Oh, VAUC, there are so many significant, no, um, uh, informations, no, that we need to know about this Act of 2004, which is VAUC. Kung nanonood po kayo sa program ni Senator Tulfo, no, ito lagi doon yung mga cry ng mga babae, no, mga women na iniwan ng mga asawa dahil nangaliwa or hindi nagsuporta sa kanilang mga anak, and so on and so forth. Kaya nung binigay itong topic sa akin, I'm so excited kasi I am also a graduate of a doctor of public admin. Okay? And Ilonggo po ako. No, I'm from Iloilo. Okay? So, BAUC. What is Republic Act 9262? It is a special law, otherwise known as Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act of 2004, the Anti-VAUC, which penalizes as a public crime certain acts of violence against women and their children. So napakaliwanag, no, na ang Republic Act 9262 ay para sa mga kababaihan at sa kanilang mga anak. Na? Okay. When was the law signed and became effective? The law was signed last March 8, 2004, and it took effect on March 27. What is violence against women and their children? So, as what I mentioned a moment ago, it's a crime, no? A public crime, ang VAUC. Okay? So, violence against women and their children, or VAUC, is any act or a series of acts committed against the victim which result in or is likely to result in physical, sexual, psychological harm or suffering, or economic abuse, including threats of such acts, battery, assault, coercion, harassment, or arbitrary deprivation of liberty. So, marami po tayong variables dito, no? Ang dami nating mga key concepts, no, on violence against women and their children. Ito yung mga sakop niya. Physical daw, sexual, psychological harm or suffering, or economic abuse. Threats din siya of such acts ng battery, assault, coercion, harassment, or arbitrary deprivation of liberty. Mamaya-maya, isa-isahin po natin ito, no, para maintindihan po natin lalo, no, at makakatulong po sa atin. Okay. So, who is the woman victim protected under this law? Okay? Wife. Okay? So, ito yun, no? Ito yung mga kababaihan na pinoprotektahan ng batas na ito. Ang mga asawa. Former wife. Yung asawa ngayon or yung dating asawa. Okay? Or a woman with whom the offender has or had a sexual or dating relationship. And a woman with whom the offender has a common child. Okay, so may intimate, yung letter C, ito yung babae daw na may intimate relationship, no, at dating nakipag-date. Or yung isang babae na naanakan or may anak, no, sa tatay, no, ng bata. Okay, then, who are the children victims protected under the law? Children means the abused woman's children, boy or girl alike, below 18 years old, whether legitimate or illegitimate, or other children who lived with the woman or are under her care. Okay. Who is the offender? The following can be held liable for violation of Republic Act 9266. First, husband. Former husband. Boyfriend. Oh. So ito pala yung mga offender natin, no? Husband, former husband, or a boyfriend. Ito pa. Even your ex-boyfriend. Your live-in partner or ex-partner. One with whom the woman has a common child. Or yung may anak sila pero hindi sila kasal. Or one with whom the woman has had sexual or dating relationship. Can a woman be held liable for committing violation of Republic Act 9262? Dito sabi natin yung offender or yung violator, no, sabi nila puro lalaki nakalagay dito, no, sa una husband, former husband, boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, live-in partner or ex-partner, or yung may anak sila na hindi sila kasal or nakipagtalik dati or may nakipag-date. So ang tanong dito ay, can a woman be held liable for committing violation? How about yung mga babae? Liable din ba sila for this Republic Act 9262? What's your answer? Yes or no? Okay, here's the answer. Yes. A lesbian partner or a girlfriend or ex-lesbian partner or girlfriend can also be held liable for committing act or a series of acts against another woman with whom the lesbian has or had a sexual or dating relationship. Sabi ko nga kanina ang daming ganitong cases, no, sa ating sa programa ni Tolfo, Vauci. Okay, naghahabulan. Okay. Next, important definition of terms. Ayan na. What is battery? Battery refers to an act of inflicting physical harm upon the woman or her child, resulting to physical and psychological or emotional distress. Kaya pag may babae na nasasaktan or sinasaktan or malupitan, no? Inflicting physical harm, sinasaktan siya physically. Ang tawag natin dyan ay battered wife. Di ba parang may movie na ganun dati, no? Battered wife. That would result to physical and psychological or emotional distress. Okay. Pag hindi ka na makatulog, no? At lagi kang balisa, magkaroon ka ng anxiety, no? Nag-iisip ka lagi, kinakabahan, balisa, no? yung emotion mo ay mababa na ang emotion mo, no? Napapagod siya sa kakaisip. So, ito pala ay under sa battery, no? O sabihin natin na you were already a part of this policy, violence against women. Okay? So, battered woman defined. No? A battered woman is one who is repeatedly subjected to any forceful physical or psychological behavior by a man in order to coerce, no, pinipilit, no, her to do something he wants her to do without concern for her rights. Dinidiktahan na kahit na nilalabag yung rights ng isang babae, no? So, ang partner niya ay dapat, no, mag-isip na siya pala ay part na ng PAUSI. Okay? So, kailangan healthy. No? Pero pag may mga ganitong instances na parang dinidiktahan ka, wala kang freedom, no? At pinipilit ka gawin ang hindi mo dapat gawin, and nilalabag ng rights mo, you are considered as battered woman. To be classified as such, the couple must go through the battling cycle at least twice. Pag dalawang beses mo to naranasan, you can consider yourself as a battered woman. Dalawang beses po pero pag mga acquaintances lang, it does not apply. Okay? Sa may mga intimate relationship lang po ito applicable. If it occurs again and she remains in the situation, she is defined as a battered woman. Okay. Tension building phase. Minor battering occurs. Ito yung mga minor lang na battering practices ng mga lalaki or mga partners ng mga babae. Verbal, physical abuse, verbal or yung nagsasalita siya ng hindi maganda against you. Physical abuse or other form of hostile behavior. The woman tries to pacify the batterer, but this placatory, passive behavior only legitimizes the man's belief that he has the right to abuse her. At some point, the violence gets out of control and leads to acute battering incident. Brutal and destructive violence that could lead to death. Diba? Tranquil, loving phase. This is when acute battering incident ends. During this period, the couple experience profound relief. The batterer may show tender, nurturing behavior towards his partner. And this is the cycle of violence as observed, or an overview, people versus Hinosa. No? Yan yung mga mga basis natin of this tension building phase, acute battering incident, and the tranquil loving phase. So, ulitin natin, no? Kailan mo i-consider na battered woman kapag nag-occur, no, ang kalupitan, no, or ang abuso, ang pag-aabuso sa iyo, verbally man or physically, for twice. Dalawang beses lang. Pag once, okay lang. Pag paulit-ulit na yan pag hindi natin ma-resolve. Okay? At ang cycle of violence here, tension building phase, mga minor ito, na that would lead to something which is acute battering incident At pag naayos, tranquil and loving face ito na ang mangyayari. How is stalking defined? Stalking. No? Stalking refers to an intentional act committed by a person who knowingly and without lawful justification follows the woman or her child or places the woman or her child under surveillance directly or indirectly or a combination thereof. Yung sinusundan mo, minamanmanan mo yung asawa mo, hiwalay na kayo, no? That would create something na tension or emotionally or physically siya na nagkaroon ng anxiety, no? So, isa din pala po ito na isang act na pwedeng bigyan ng pansin ng isang babae. Okay. So what is sexual relations? Sexual relations refers to a single sexual act which may or may not result in the bearing of a common child. How is dating relationship defined? Dating relationship refers to a situation wherein the parties live as husband and wife without the benefit of marriage or are romantically involved over time and on a continuing basis during the course of the relationship. A casual acquaintance or ordinary socialization between two individuals in a business or social context is not a dating relationship. Okay. So, dating relationship. Notably, while it is required that the offender has or had a sexual or dating relationship with the offended woman for Republic Act 9262 to be applicable, it is not indispensable that the act of violence be a consequence of such relationship. Nowhere in the law can such limitation be inferred. Hence, applying the rule on statutory construction that when the law does not distinguish, neither should the courts then clearly the punishable acts refer to all acts of violence against women with whom the offender has or had a sexual or dating relationship as correctly ruled by the RTC, Regional Trial Court. It is immaterial whether the relationship had ceased for as long as there is sufficient evidence showing the past or present existence of such relationship between the offender and the victim when physical harm was committed. Ayan. Mamaya malalaman po natin to kung ilang taon pwede natin buhayin ang violence against women. No, yung mga physical harm na naranasan ng isang babae sa nakarelasyon niya, no? Dati or sa kasalukuyan, or even the sexual abuses or verbal abuses, no? Okay. So the basis of which is Dabalos versus Regional Trial Court, Branch 59, Angeles City. And here's the date, no, and the anong tawag nito? Yung ano ng aso, number ng case, criminal case. Okay, Republic Act 9262. Violence against women and children, leniency in favor of accused due to ambiguity of the law inapplicable. The Supreme Court held that it cannot construe that statute in favor of petitioner, using the rule of leniency because there is no ambiguity in Republic Act 9262 that would necessitate any construction. While the degree of physical harm under Republic Act 9262 and Article 263 of the Revised Penal Code are the same, there is sufficient justification for prescribing a higher penalty for the former. Okay. Clearly, the legislative intent is to purposely impose a more severe sanction on the offenders whose violent act or acts physically harm women with whom they have or had a sexual or dating relationship, and or their children, with the end in view of promoting protection of women and children. That is based from Carlo Angelo Dabalos, no, San Diego versus Regional Trial Court Branch 59, Angeles City. That's our source. Okay, what does public crime mean? Any citizen who has personal knowledge of the crime can file a criminal complaint. So public crime pala ang VAUSIC, no? My dear teachers and parents, this is a public crime. Meaning to say, pag ang kapitbahay nyo, pag hindi kaya ng asawa magreklamo, pwede daw, no, any citizen, no, can file a criminal complaint in court. Na basta you have personal knowledge of the crime. Okay, so kung may mga pinsan kayo dyan or whatever na mahihina ang loob, no, pwede pala kayo. Pero careful lang, careful lang. So, sa batas, no, pwede kahit sino mag-file nito basta may personal knowledge. Where is VAUSI or the violation against women and children committed? Violence against women and their children is committed within the dwelling, abode, or any place outside thereof. So, kung saan nakatira or kung saan man nangyari, no? Yan yung place, no? Na the crime is committed anywhere. Okay. In other words, what are the forms of VAUSI? Violence against women and their children can be described in the following forms. Ayan na. Ito na yung mga basis ng VAUSI. No? Or tanong nyo sa sarili nyo, kailan ba kami magkaso? Or kailan kami mag-file ng reklamo na under siya sa VAUSI law? No? Or ano ngayon kanina? This is an act of 2004 or known to be the Republic Act number 9262. Ito na. Ito na ang mga dapat natin malaman, no, na sakop ng VAUSI. 1. Physical violence, which refers to acts that include bodily or physical harm. Sinasaktan ka physically. No? Babae, we're referring to a woman. May VAUSI ba sa lalaki? Wala. Babae lang po. Kaya special po kayo, girls. Yung mga babae. Okay? Kasi walang lakas, no? Hindi nila, pero may mga babae din na, karate expert. Okay, next we have here, sexual violence, which refers to an act which is sexual in nature committed against a woman or her child. Mamaya, isa-isahin natin itong sexual na to, violence, kung ano to. Okay, so sexual. Physical, sexual. And number 3, we have here psychological violence, which refers to acts or omissions causing or likely to cause mental or emotional suffering of the victim. Napakalawak ng sakop na to, my dear teachers and parents, no, and other stakeholders of the school, ng psychological violence. Hindi ka makatulog, hindi ka makakain, dahil lagi mo iniisip na parang nilapastangan ang pagkatao mo bilang isang babae, bilang isang asawa, or bilang isang girlfriend or jowa, no? Bilang isang ina ng kanyang anak. Ha? Hindi ka balisa ka lagi. Pag balisa ka, that's anxiety. No? Nag-worry ka. No? And that's very dangerous. No? So, that falls under psychological violence. Okay. And number 4, economic abuse. Ito yung popular sa mga bata natin sa school. I had already an experience on this na naghabol yung nanay kasi hindi nagsuporta yung tatay. So that falls under economic abuse. Ito pala yung 4 na ito, no? Which refers to acts that make or attempt to make a woman financially dependent. So pag may mga estudyante tayo dyan sa Maligaya na ganito, sana wala, no? Wala tayong ganyan. Wala. Kasi maayos yung community natin. Gusto ko lang po isingit dito yung child support. Kasi naatinan ko tong seminar dati. No? Yung bata, which is under 18 years old, and the child support should be determined by the court. Korte po ang nagdedetermine. Okay. Hindi kung sino man. No? Magkano ba dapat ang suporta ng bata? How much should a parent, no, give for child support? Magkano ba? Okay, ito na. Tandaan nyo to Hindi ko nalagay ito dito. 12% of the weekly nakita ng tatay ay ibigay sa anak as a support. No? 12% sa isang linggo niyang kita. Sa isang bata po yan. Take down note kayo niyan Baka ma-encounter nyo ito balang araw. Then, kung 2 ang anak niya, dapat 16% ng kita niya sa isang linggo ay maibigay doon sa bata. No? Kung matagal po sila nag-live-in at naghiwalay dahil sa bawsi, hindi niya kaya ni nanay ang pambubugbog o yung sexual violence or psychological or whatever man, no? Kung maraming anak nila, pag 3 or more, 19% of his income, okay, sa isang linggo ay ibibigay niya sa anak niya. So isang anak, 12%, sa isang linggo, 16%, pag 2, 19%, pag 3 or more. Tanong, if the father, for example, pag ang father ay walang kakayahan magbigay ng pera, excuse po ba yun? No. Sabi ng court, no. Lahat ng pagmamay-ari niya, ibenta niya para masuportahan yung bata at maghanap siya ng trabaho. Okay? So, yun ilang taon ng bata? Dapat minor, 18 years below. Okay. So, yan po yan yung mga sakop ng VAUC. No? Physical violence, sexual violence, psychological violence, and economic abuse. Dapat na-educate natin ang lahat ng kababaihan sa Pilipinas na dapat hindi nila ito maranasan para masaya ang kanilang pamumuhay, no? Ang kanilang existence. Araw-araw ay masaya, no? Hindi yung pasan ko ang mundo Okay, so how is sexual violence committed? Ito na yung sabi ko kanina, no? Yung forms ng sexual violence. 1, rape. 2, sexual harassment. 3, acts of lasciviousness. Threatening a woman or a child as a sex object. Making demeaning and sexually suggestive remarks. Nagsasabi ng hindi maganda. Bastos ang bunganga. Yan. Physically attacking the sexual parts of the victim's body. Na-attack niya yung mga private part ng babae. No? Physically attacking. Alam nyo na yan, hindi na natin Tagalogin kasi medyo malala pag tinatagalog natin. No? Letter G, forcing the woman or her child to watch obscene publications. Ang dami nitong napapanood natin sa TV at nababasa sa diaryo. Sabi ng mga ang dami nilang justification pero that is under VAUSE sexual violence. No? Forcing the woman or her child to do indecent acts and or make films thereof. Binivideo, no? Ang kalaswaan. Then forcing the wife and mistress or lover to live in the conjugal home or sleep together in the same room with the abuser. Isang lalaki, dalawa kasama sa isang bahay. That's a form of sexual violence sa babae. And at the same time, under yan ng VAUSE. Napansin nyo dati, no? May ganitong nangyayari. Dalawa asawa niya sa isang bahay. Pero nireklamo sila ng inaanak niya. No? At parang nabigyan yun ng, kasi may minor. So hindi normal yan. I'm so sorry ano lang to? Intellectual discussions lang po. No, letter J, causing or attempting to cause the victim to engage in any sexual activity by force, pinipilit ka, no? Threat, may threat siya. No? Then may physical or other harm or threat of physical or other harm or coercion. Labag sa loob mo. Lahat naman ata ng labag sa loob natin ay violation. Pag pinipilit tayo. Okay, next, prostituting the woman or her child. Binubugaw ang asawa or yung anak. So, yan yung mga forms, no, or how is sexual violence committed. Ito, pag may nakikita tayo or may mga alam tayo dito, no, ito ay isang form ng VAUSE. At hindi pwede itong mangyari kahit kanino man. Dahil may batas po tayo dito na you will be penalized if found guilty. Na? Okay. Next, how is psychological violence committed? Psychological violence is committed in the following manner. Intimidation. Ini-intimidate ka. Ako malakas, mahina ka. Okay, intimidation. Harassment, hinaharas ka. Stalking, no? Sinusundan-sundan ka. That nag-aalala ka, no? Nag-iisip ka ng hindi maganda at the same time, no? Psychologically affected ka. Damage to property. Public ridicule or humiliation, pinapahiya ka, sinisigawan ka. Okay. Sa maraming tao. Repeated verbal abuse. Marital infidelity. Nangangaliwa si Mr. Nandiligaw pa. Kaya si Mrs. dapat maganda lagi, no? Okay, magpabango. Okay, and siyempre, you fight for your right. as a legal wife. Then we have here causing or allowing the victim to witness the physical, sexual, or psychological abuse of a member of the family to which the victim belongs. Now we witness, no? Na there is really a physical, sexual, or psychological abuse, no, in the family. Bawsi din yan. Causing or allowing the victim to witness pornography in any form. Pornography, no, malalaswang video. Causing or allowing the victim to witness abusive injury to pets. You see? Under din pala yan sa bawse. Di ba yung pinaparusahan yung mga hayop dati, nagkaroon yan sa YouTube, talagang kinasuhan yung mag-asawa doon. Okay. And unlawful or unwanted deprivation of the right to custody and or visitation of common children. So pag may binabana yung korte na pwede mag-visit ng bata or sa custody ng nanay or whoever, ay tatay. May nabasa nga ako pag ang nanay daw ay na-evaluate ng DSWD, no? Social worker, na hindi niya kaya pangalagaan at proteksyonan yung bata. Kung sa bawsi, talagang nababaliktad itong kaso, no? Na pupunta sa tatay o sa kamag-anak, no? Or kung sino man malapit. No? Depende sa korte. The court will always be, kumbaga, sila yung nasusunod. No, yung sila ang nasusunod yung korte. Hindi tayo pwede or barangay or sino man. Kahit DSWD. Korte lagi Okay. So we have here how is economic abuse committed. Economic abuse can be committed in the following manner. A. Withdrawal of financial support or preventing the victim from engaging in any legitimate profession, occupation, business, or activity, except in cases wherein the other spouse, partner objects on valid, serious, and moral grounds as defined in Article 72 of the Family Code. Deprivation or threat of deprivation of financial resources and the rights, no, and the rights to the use and enjoyment of the conjugal community or property owned in common, and destroying household property. Controlling the victim's own money or properties or solely controlling the conjugal money or properties. Penalty. What are the penalties imposed for the crime of bawsi? Section 6, Republic Act 9262 provides that the following, no, the penalties, the crime of violence against women and their children under Section 5 hereof shall be punished according to the following rules. Acts falling under Section 5 constituting attempted, frustrated, or consummated parricide or murder or homicide shall be punished in accordance with the provisions of the revised penal code. If this act resulted in mutilation, it shall be punishable in accordance with the revised penal code. Those constituting serious physical injuries shall have the penalty of prison mayor. Those constituting less serious physical injuries shall be punished by prison or prison correctional. And those constituting slight physical injuries shall be punished by arresto mayor. Acts falling under Section 5B shall be punished by imprisonment of 2 degrees lower than the prescribed penalty for the consummated crime as specified in the preceding paragraph, but shall in no case be lower than arresto mayor. Acts falling under Section 5 and shall be punished by arresto mayor. Acts falling under Section 5 shall be punished by prison correctional. Acts falling under Section 5 shall be punished by arresto mayor. And acts falling under Section 5 shall be punished by prison mayor. Acts falling under Section 5 and Section 5 shall be punished by prison mayor. What is the prescriptive period for VAUC cases? Acts falling under Section 5 to 5, no, A to 5F shall prescribe in 20 years. Acts falling under Section 5G to 5I shall prescribe in 10 years. So, depende po kung gaano, to what extent no, yung violation ng VAUSE. No, pag serious, 20 years. No, within 20 years, pwede pa mabuhay yung kaso. No, but in not that serious, ay 10 years. So, pag may nararanasan pala kayo no, na hanggang ngayon hindi nyo makalimutan at nagkaroon pa rin ng hindi magandang epekto sa pagkatao mo, pwede pa balikan. Basta inclusive siya sa 20 or 10 years. Depende yan, ang court niyan mag-determine, ang lawyer nyo, kung ito ay serious or hindi serious or minor. Okay, the lawyer will determine it. Hindi tayo. Kasi very technical po ito, my dearest teachers and parents. Okay, what if the woman or her child is pregnant? How is the penalty imposed? If the acts are committed while the woman or her child is pregnant, the penalty to be applied shall be the maximum period of penalty prescribed in Section 6. Ano yon? No, kanina yung binalikan natin. No, ito yan. Yan. Arresto mayor. Okay? Yun. Actually, lawyer na to eh. Arresto mayor, prison correctional. May mga term kasi ito that the lawyer lang can modify it or can give its clear definition and explanation. Okay? Okay, next. What if the acts are committed in the presence of a woman's child? If the acts are committed in the presence of the woman's child, the penalty to be applied shall be maximum period of penalty. Maximum siya. No, prescribed in Section 6. What is the fine imposed on the offender of VAUC? Ano yung mga fine daw? Yan. Kaya kung ang mga lalaki dapat maging maingat dito, no? Sa mga asawa nila or girlfriend or jowa. Fine siya according sa batas ng VAUC. In addition to imprisonment, the perpetrator shall pay a fine in the amount of not less than 100,000 pesos, but not more than 300,000 pesos. 0.3 million or 0.1 million. From 0.1 million to 0.3 million. Yan yung fine. Depende sa extent ng violation. Undergo mandatory psychological counseling. No, ika-counsel sila. Or psychiatric treatment shall report compliance to the court. Kaya pag nanonood kayo ng Tolfo, doon, nanood ako nung binigay sa akin yung topic about sa mga VAUC doon cases, kina-counsel lahat. No? Pati yung nirereklamo at saka yung bata at nanay kina-counsel para mag-guide po sila at saka yung anxiety ba, yung effects sa kanilang pagkatao ay unti-unting ma-relieve, no, at makalimutan nila. Okay, where can VAUC be filed? That the regional trial court, grabe, RTC agad na, designated as family court shall have original and exclusive jurisdiction over cases of violence against women and their children under Republic Act 9262. In the absence of court, in the place where the offense was committed, the complainant has the option to file the case in the regional trial court where the crime or any of its element was committed. Okay. How is protection order defined? Okay, a protection order is an order issued under Republic Act 9262 for the purpose of preventing further act of violence against a woman or a child specified in Section 5 of the law and granting other necessary relief. What are the protection orders that may be issued under Republic Act 9262? Ito yung mga protection orders natin. 1. Barangay Protection Order or BPO issued by the punong barangay or in his or her absence, any available barangay kagawad. It is effective within 15 days. Nire-renew po ito. Now, temporary protection order or the TPO issued by the court and is effective within 30 days. And permanent protection order or PPO issued by the court after notice and hearing. So, mayroon tayo barangay, temporary, and permanent. No, 15, 30, and permanent, which is issued by the court. Who may file petition for protection orders? A petition for protection order may be filed by any of the following. Okay? Victim or offended party, parents or guardian of the offended party, descendants, ascendants, descendants, or collateral relatives within fourth degree or civil degree of consanguinity, no, or affinity, and officers or social workers of the DSWD or social workers of local government units. Police officers, preferably those in charge of women and children's protection desk or WCPD. And punong barangay or barangay kagawad, lawyer, counselor, therapist, or healthcare provider of the petitioner. At least 2 concerned responsible citizens of the city or municipality where the violence against women and their children occurred and who have personal knowledge of the offense committed. How to apply for a protection order? The application for a protection order must be in writing, signed, and verified under oath by the victim. A standard application form written in English with translation to the major local languages shall contain, among others, the following information: names and addresses of petitioner and respondent, description of relationship between petitioner and respondent, a statement of the circumstances of the abuse, description of the relief requested by petitioner, request for a counsel and reasons for such, request for a waiver of application fees until hearing, and in attestation that there is no pending application for a protection order in another court. What if the application of the protection order is not the victim? If the applicant is not the victim, di ba sabi natin any citizen, no? The application must be accompanied by an affidavit of the applicant attesting to the circumstances of the abuse suffered by the victim and the circumstance of consent given by the victim for filing of application. When disclosure of the address of the victim will pose danger to her life, it shall be so stated in the application. Okay. What are the reliefs provided in the issuance of protection order? The barangay chairperson has the power to provide the following reliefs: prohibit the respondent from threatening to commit or committing personally or through another any of the acts mentioned in Section 5 or Republic Act 9262. Prohibit the respondent from harassing, annoying, telephoning, contacting, or otherwise communicating with the petitioner directly or indirectly. Okay. So, paalala lang po sa mga teachers natin, sa mga school personnel po natin. Pag meron po tayo na mga nakikita or na-observe sa mga students natin na na naaabuso po sila. Protect yourself. Ha? Kasi minsan, pag nag-surface kayo, that might be endanger your life and your family. So may protocol po tayo dyan na dear teachers sa mga schools po natin. No? Na sa naatinan ko dati na seminar, dapat ang teacher or yung school, principal, or kung sino man sa school, a guidance teacher natin, are skillful enough to handle the case. Okay? Teacher, i-refer sa guidance. Guidance, i-refer sa principal. Dapat may proseso po. Then, shadow po kayo. Tumawag ng DSWD. Or kung ano man na coordinating organization, no, ng government units natin. Mamaya, sasabihin ko kung ano yun. Then sila po yung frontliner natin. Hindi po kayo, mga teachers, lalo teachers po natin na you protect your own safety. Okay? So, makipag-coordinate sa DSWD or any government, local units, or kung anumang unit ng government para sila ang mag-alalay sa bata, not the teachers. Ha? Tayo lang po ang mag-recommend. Okay, so we have here, on the other hand, the court has the power to provide any or some or all of the following reliefs. Prohibition of the respondent from threatening to commit or committing personal or through another any of the acts mentioned in Section 5 of Republic Act 9262, prohibition of respondent from harassing, annoying, telephoning, contacting, or otherwise communicating with the petitioner directly or indirectly. Removal and exclusion of the respondent from the residence of the petitioner, regardless of ownership of the residence, either temporarily for the purpose of protecting the petitioner or permanently where no property rights are violated, and directing the respondent to stay away from petitioner and any designated family or household member at the distance specified by the court, and to stay away from the residence, school, place, or employment, or any specified place frequented by the petitioner, any designated family as household member. So, pinaproteksyon na natin dito po okay, ang ating mga respondents or yung mga victims po natin. Then, directing lawful possession and use by petitioner by an automobile and other essential personal effects regardless of ownership, and directing the appropriate law enforcement officer to accompany the petitioner to the residence of the parties to ensure that the petitioner is safely restored to the possession of the automobile and other essential personal effects, or to supervise the petitioner or respondent's removal of personal belongings. Granting a temporary or permanent custody of a child or children to the petitioner, directing the respondent to provide support to the woman or her child if entitled to legal support, not withstanding other laws to the contrary. The court shall order an appropriate percentage of the income or salary of the respondent to withheld regularly by respondent's employer, and for the same to be automatically remitted directly to the woman. Prohibition of the respondent from any use of possession of any firearm of deadly weapon, and order him to surrender the same to court for appropriate dispossession by the court, including the renovation of license and disqualification to apply for any license to use or possess a firearm. Ang dami, no? Pag ang lalaki nag-violate ng bawse, ang dami niyang, grabe, ang daming maapektuhan sa kanya. And restitution for actual damages caused by the violence inflicting, including but not limited to property damage, medical expenses, health, child care expenses, and loss of income. Directing the DSWD or any appropriate agency to provide the petitioner temporary shelter and other social services that the petitioner need. And the last one, provision of such other forms of relief as the court deems necessary to protect and provide for the safety of the petitioner and any designated family or household member, provided petitioner and any designated family or household member consents to such relief. What if, okay, we're about to end na. What if the respondent fails to remit and or withhold or delay remittances of support to the woman and or her child? What sanction will be imposed? If the failure or withholding or delay of the remittance is without justifiable cause, it shall render the respondent or his employer liable for indirect contempt of court. If the offender is a law enforcement agent, mga police ito, no? How is he prohibited from possession of his firearm after the protection order is issued? Okay, dati yan, mga police, dami asawa, ngayon di na. No, na-educate na natin yung mga police natin. Pero ito, may para din para sa kanila. No? So the court shall order the offender to surrender his firearm and shall direct the appropriate authority to investigate on the offender and take appropriate action on the matter. Mga loving na ngayon ng mga policemen natin. No? Okay, how can respondent remove his personal effects from the residence after the protection order is issued? If respondent has to remove personal effects from the residence, the court shall direct a law enforcement agent to accompany the respondent to the residence, remain there until respondent has gathered these things, and escort respondent from the residence. Is there a need for a decree of legal separation or annulment or declaration of absolute nullity of marriage before any of the reliefs is provided? O kung kasal kami, no, kailangan pa ba ipaanal kaagad-agad, no, ang kasal or magkaroon ng legal separation para lang ibigay ang mga relief or mga benepisyo ng bata? The answer is no. Any of the reliefs as provided shall be granted even in the absence of the decree of legal separation or annulment or declaration of absolute nullity of marriage. No, hindi siya applicable. What is the purpose of the relief granted under a protection order? The relief granted under a protection should serve the purpose of safeguarding the victim from further harm, minimizing any disruption in the victim's family daily life, and facilitating the opportunity and ability of the victim to independently regain control over her life. What should the barangay officials do when the victim or any authorized person applies for a BPO? Barangay yan, no? When the victim or any authorized person applies for BPO, the barangay official should do the following. Take the salaysar or statement under oath of the victim or applicant. Be sure the date of commission of the offense, place, and specific circumstances are in the statement. Allow a non-lawyer advocate to be with the victim during the proceedings. Do not allow the respondent offender to be present during the ex parte proceedings. Issue the PPO on the same day of application. Assist the victim applicant in applying for temporary protection order with the court as soon as possible. Serve the PPO on the respondent. If the PPO is violated, file a criminal case for violation of Republic Act 9262 in the municipal trial court or municipal circuit trial court. Penalty is 30 days of imprisonment. Can the barangay officials mediate or conciliate? No. Conciliation and mediation of acts of violence against women and their children are not allowed under this law. A punong barangay, barangay kagawad, or the court hearing an application for a protection order shall not order, direct, force, or in any way unduly influence the applicant for a protection order to compromise or abandon any of the relief sought in the application for a protection order. Failure to comply shall render the official or judge administratively liable. So, it's more on mag-recommend lang sila. No? Okay, court talaga. Is counseling and treatment of offenders allowed under the law? Yes. The DSWD shall provide rehabilitative counseling and treatment For or two perpetrators towards learning constructive ways of coping with anger and emotional outbursts and reforming their ways. When necessary, the offender shall be ordered by the court to submit to psychiatric treatment of confinement. Is there a penalty for not enforcing the temporary order or the permanent order? Yes, violation is punishable with a fine ranging from 5,000 pesos to 50,000 pesos and or imprisonment of 6 months. After the issuance of temporary order, what comes next? The court shall schedule a hearing on the issuance of a PPO or the permanent order prior to or on the date of the expiration of the temporary order. The temporary order shall include notice of the date of the hearing on the merits of issuance of PPO. How many days should the hearing on the merits of issuance PPO be held? The court shall conduct the hearing on the merits of the issuance of PPO in 1 day. Where the court is unable to conduct the hearing within 1 day, the TPO issued is due to expire. The court shall continuously extend or renew until the final judgment is issued. The extended or renewed TPO may be modified by the court as may be necessary or applicable to address the needs of the applicant. Until when? Uh, until when is the PPO considered effective? A PPO shall be effective until revoked by a court upon application of the person in whose favor the order was issued. The court shall ensure immediate personal service of the PPO on respondent. How is the issuance of protection order prioritized? Ex parte and adversarial hearings to determine the basis of the applications for a protection order shall have priority over all other proceedings. Barangay officials and the court shall schedule and conduct hearings on application for a protection order above all other business and if necessary suspend other proceedings in order to hear application for a protection order. What is the confidentiality rule under the law? All records pertaining to us cases of vowsy, including those in the barangay, shall be confidential, and all public officers and employees and public and private clinics or hospitals shall respect the right to privacy of the victim. Whoever publishes or causes to be published in any format the name, address, telephone number, school, business address, employer, or other identifying information of victim for an immediate family member without the latter's consent shall be liable to the contempt power of the court. So, pag nangyari ito at may mga cases sa school na nakita nyo sa bata, no, at tinulungan nyo yung bata, no, please, yung confidentiality rule, no, ay dapat i-apply natin seriously para hindi tayo ma-technical dito. Pursuant to Section 44 of Republic Act Number 9262, otherwise known as the Anti-Violence Against Women and Children Act of 2004, and Section 363, Rule 11 of the Rules and Regulations implementing Republic Act 9262, the real name of the child victim is withheld to protect his or her privacy. Fictitious initials are used instead to represent him or her. Fictitious, meaning to say hindi original na pirma niya. Likewise, the personal circumstances or any other information tending to establish or compromise her or his identity as well as those of her immediate family or household members shall not be disclosed. Itatago po, private talaga. Lahat ng pangalan nila, lahat ng parte sa identity nila dapat confidential at itatago po natin. What is the penalty imposed for violation of confidentiality rule? Any person who violates confidentiality of vowsy cases shall suffer the penalty of 1 year imprisonment and a fine of not more than 500,000 pesos. Isipin mo yan. Ang violation kanina ng offender, 1 to 300,000 lang. Pero pag ikaw nag-violate ng confidentiality ng VAUSI, it's 500,000 pesos, 0.5 million. Bakit? Kasi safety ng bata dito at saka yung future niya ang pinag-uusapan. Okay, what is the Interagency Council of Violence Against Women and Children? Ayan, ito na. The IAC or Interagency Council of Violence Against Women and Children is an interagency body tasked to formulate programs and projects to eliminate VOW based on their mandates as well as develop capability programs for their employees to become more sensitive to the needs of their clients. The council will also serve as the monitoring body as regards to violence against women initiatives. It shall be composed of the following agencies. O our dear teachers na, ito, dear parents, ito po yung mga agencies na pwede natin hingan ng tulong or mag-assist po sa atin. Okay, Department of Social Welfare and Development, DSWD. May VAUSI section yan. National Commission on the Role of Filipino Women, Civil Service Commission, Commission on Human Rights, Council for the Welfare of Children, Department of Justice, Department of Interior and Local Government, DILG, Philippine National Police, PNP, Department of Health, Department of Education. Kaya included siya sa GAD natin. Okay? And Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE. No? And National Bureau of Investigation. Ito. Yan na. Take down notes of all these Interagency Council of Violence Against Women and their Children. IAC, VAUSI. Dapat may listahan po tayo niyan. No? Doon tayo makipag-coordinate just in case. No? So for that, let us make our community, our school, our barangay, our homes, kung saan tayo nakatira, as well as our country, VAUSI-free. No? Dapat walang kaso. Because dapat mamuhay tayo ng tahimik at masaya. So, isang bilin ko lang po, let love rules. Dapat ang pagmamahalan ay laging nangingibabaw. No? So for that, thank you. I'm Dr. Rinaldo S. Pineda Jr., an Ilonggo from the Department of Education, Manila Public Schools District Supervisor. Thank you so much. No? O naabot ko 1 hour. 1 hour po. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Ayan, mukhang maraming natutunan ang ating mga teachers, parents, and students na nasa ating YouTube live, no?
Yes, ako rin po marami ako natutunan kahit nadagdagan pa, everyday tool po. Ayan, nadagdagan pa. Favorite yun yun, Doc. So, may I call in Ma'am Annalyn Yucasaes to award the certificate for Dr. Pineda.
Okay. Thank you so much, Doc. Dr. Ring, this certificate of recognition is awarded to Dr. Rinaldo S. Pineda Jr., PhD, in sincere recognition of his invaluable and meritorious services rendered as resource speaker during the hybrid webinar on gender and development for teachers and parents with a theme, Trigger Webinar in Gender Equality through School, providing a safe and inclusive learning environment using positive discipline. Given this 19th day of October 2022. Signed, truly yours, Annalyn Yucasaes, School Guide Coordinator, and our Master Teacher in Charge in God, Ma'am Celia R. Tumbali, and signed by our dearest Principal, Dr. Wilma C. Manuel, Principal 4, and our Public School District Supervisor in Quezon City, Dr. Odette Hughes Silion, PhD. Dr. Reynaldo Pineda, thank you so much po. And we are so honored to have you on our first speaker for today. God bless po.
Ayan, thank you so much po, Dr. Pineda. Sir Julian, pwedeng split screen para makikita ulit natin si Doc? Ayan.
Thank you so
Ayan,
much.
hello po, sir. Welcome to Maligaya Elementary School. Ayan, paano na lang po, pa-screenshot para may picture po.
Okay, thank you.
A big round of applause again to Dr. Reynaldo S. Pineda.
Ayan, thank you so much po.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
now, let us proceed to our second speaker. By the way, let us acknowledge the presence of our visitor, Magkagawad. Ay,
Okay po, inaalahan po natin ang ating Barangay Kagawad, Fatima Cabanag, Philippine Education Department. Palakpakan po natin. Maraming salamat po, Kagawad Fatima, sa pagpunta po dito sa aming unang araw ng program. Okay po.
Good morning po sa inyong lahat. Yung barangay campaign po natin, hindi makakagano. Ano mo namin, may general assembly tayo sa Sabado. So, nare-review po lahat 50%. Actually, ang habol ako pagkatapos dito. Maraming salamat sa pag-imbita niyo sa akin dito. Anytime po, pag meron tayong panahon, ay nandito naman ako. Yung pong pinresent ay ginagamit din po namin yan sa ibang NGOs kasi nag-work po ako sa isang national labor center. So, ang mas madalas din namin problema kahit nasa pagawaan, may mga pag-aabuso din sa mga empleyado na yan din po ay binibigay namin na yung mga guard training. So sa inyo pong lahat ay nagpapasalamat po ang ating barangay na meron tayong close coordination. No? Pati po yung ating ALS teacher ay closely nag-communicate na rin sa akin for so many years. Yung active lang po kasi nag-communicate sa barangay ay yung ALS High School. So, binabalita ko po kay ma'am na recently lang ay nag-donate po yung barangay ng printer sa ALS at saka mga school supplies at kayo po nag-request na naman sila ng ALS teacher. So po yun ay pinagkakalo po natin sa ALS ng elementary. So sa inyo po lahat, maraming salamat at magandang umaga sa inyo.
Thank you so much po.
Yan. Thank you so much po, Kagawad Cabanag, and syempre po kay Doc Pineda po. So let us proceed now to our second speaker regarding awareness on child protection to be discussed by Ma'am Marie Chris Villeno, our guidance teacher. Let us give her a round of applause.
Yes.
Sabi ni Kagawad, baka magbigay din siya ng live t-shirt.
Yes,
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Maligayan, sa mga nakatunghay sa atin sa FB Live at sa mga nandito po sa aking mga co-teachers, MT teachers, to our PSBS Dr. Odette Leon, and to our school principal, Dr. Wilma C. Manyo. At ako po ay naatasan na i-discuss po yung child protection policy. So this policy aims to protect the child from all forms of violence. So ito po ay nakaangkop 7610. So Republic Act 7610, an act providing for stronger deterrence and special protection against child abuse. exploitation, and discrimination, and for other purposes. So, sir, may I have my slide, please?
Ano po?
For the topic about awareness on child protection. Okay, now let's proceed with our last but not the least speaker to discuss to us the power of positive discipline. Let us welcome Ma'am Rowena S.P. Valerio. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Thank you, Ma'am Dale and Ma'am Catherine. Isang mapagpalang umaga, magandang buhay, at isang positibong araw sa ating lahat. Mga minamahal kong mga mag-aaral, magulang, at kapwa-guro. Sa ating mga tagapanayam, sa ating mga pamunuan, sa ating punong abala, sa ating bisita na si Ma'am Fatima Cabanat, Kagawad Fatima Cabanat, sa ating PSDS, Dr. Odette U. Simeon, at higit sa lahat, sa ating mahusay at kilala sa pagiging disiplinado sa lahat ng pagkakataon, ang ating punong guro, apat, Dr. Wilma C. Manyo. Magandang umaga po. Batik natin lahat na mahalaga ang disiplina sa paaralan. Paaralan man o sa pamilya o sa komunidad. Kung kaya ngayong umaga, matututunan natin at may sasabuhay ang pagiging disiplinado sa lahat ng panahon at pagkakataon. Iiwan ko po sa inyo muna ang isang salita na aking matagal ng kumbaga ito ay isang salita na binigkas ng aking magulang noong aking bata pa. Sabi niya, ang binabait daw ng bata ay nasa matanda. My topic is all about the power of positive discipline.
Hello, maligayans pa rin. Meron pa pong nanonood sa ating YouTube live.
Ilan pa ba yung nanonood sa ating Sir Julian? Madami pa ba?
50? May
50, ayan.
50 viewers pa. Wow, ang sarap na. 50 viewers.
50 plus yun nandito sa atin. So, madami-dami yan. At syempre, mamaya yung mga AM, may AM na mga bata, AM teachers, AM students, parents, mamayang hapon sila manonood pagka-uwi nila. Ayan. Okay. I-ano nyo na, i-maritas nyo na po na mamaya manonood din po sila ng ating webinar.
Medyo malakas yung echo ng ating
Kaya ka, ma-echo.
Sir, pwede po pabawasan ng echo? Thank you po. Ayan, alamin muna natin sila. May mga nag-comment kaya. Mayroon po kayong isip sa ating YouTube live.
Ayan, sige, anong pang umaga ang Kinder? Sige, pa-type ka ng heart or pa-click yung heart na emoji dyan kung kayo ay Kinder. Violet heart. May violet heart ba? Violet heart.
Ano po mula lang?
Saka pink. Violet heart daw. Hindi ko sinabi na pink. Naman?
Pwede po ba makita para ma-mention? Para
Para
ma-mention
shout out of type yung Kinder dyan na violet na heart, tapos isa-shout out namin.
Kaya, baka may mga plano mo yan para deserve ang +5, di ba?
Oo, kung maraming nanonood.
Tingnan natin, partner, kung marami nga talaga. Kasi may 50 pa so receive pa yung 50. Habang
Ayan na,
nag-google.
ayan na. Ayan. Good morning, Alexandra T. Labrador. Grade 1, matatagay. Ayun naman pala, si Ma'am Tweet na ba siya?
Grade 1.
Oo, si Ma'am Tweet. Ayun na sila na next partner.
Ayan, from Paparan, under Mrs. Gloria. Grade 1 din, no? Francisca R. Lopez.
Yung mga anak na dito pang second shift, sila yung nanonood.
Wala sisipag yung grade 1,
Oo, grade 4. Ay, ito, grade 4. Baka naka-online ka, highly nyo sa cellphone sa mukha, bawal yan.
Baka siya absent pa, pero hindi nanonood.
Parent niya, oo. Kaya sa CR pala siya nanonood.
Kaya meron din, no?
Sino si Mrs. Jane
Kolobo. Kalobo.
Let us acknowledge the presence of our principal, Dr. University Manuel. Let us give her a
round of applause.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Pasensya na kayo, marami akong ganap. Kasi utos po kasi ng Central Office na hindi ko din ako mag-attend. Last day naman ngayon. So, sa lahat ng mga nanguna sa training workshop na ito, maraming salamat ang pagbati sa inyo lahat. Sa lahat ng magaganda at gwapong mga garuan, maligaya. Tapos kung kami na maganda at gwapo, sinungaling. Para ayaw pa actually, nawala sa isip ko yan, yung sa akin yan, nung nakalipas sa linggo. Nawala sa isip ko yan, na meron ngayong araw na tinarimahin lang yung nangapon. Kaya sabi ko, kami papakain natin, hindi naman pwede, lumulok lang si Arian, baka mamayaya, diba? Lalagay pa naman na kayang failure. Tandaan nyo, yung gender and development ay napakahalaga para matutunan natin ang pagkakakilala ng bawat isa. Magkaroon ng respeto sa pagkatao at sa pagkakasarilan ng iba't ibang mga individual, lalo ng mga estudyante natin. Yung 3 araw nyo ay actually, medyo kayo nga ang lugi. Sabi ko sa mga ito, dapat salitan na ang mangyayari ngayong araw na to, itong mga pangumanang mag-a-attend, pero bukas ang mag-a-attend naman ay yung panghapon. Parang pakas naman. Kasi hindi pwedeng sila lang ang gumigising na maaga. Tinitingnan ko kasi ang inaanak ko si Clarence, baka makayaya, pag-araw-araw, ay 12 hours. Ma'am Ann, saka si Ma'am, nakasabi dun sa mga panghapon, sila naman ang seminar bukas ng hapon. Pag nabutan yung kung ano yung pagkain sa araw na ito, pero sa biyernes sa closing program, natin ba sila lahat ng biyernes? Siguro mag-shorten period tayo kasi closing program naman yun. Ano, mga 11 hanggang alas 12, magpapakain ako ng saluyot. May pakukom. Para hindi tayo gaano nagagahol at nag-aapuran sa ating mga kaganapan. Huwag kayong matakot sa COVID kasi baka ang akala nyo nag-asymptomatic yung dalawa ay kayo ay tatamaan na rin. As long as bakunado kayo tumatalbog yan. Kaya kailangan nagpapabakuna tayo para malakas pa rin ang ating immune system pagdating sa kanya. Kaya i-invite ko kayong lahat pa-booster na uli. Kasi wala namang mawawala sa inyo bukod sa baby pox na 2 araw kasi talagang masakit sa alang-alangan ang bakuna. Pero pagkatapos ko parang binalis lang yung hirap na nararamdaman. I'm attending the international seminar about global citizenship education. It's about targeting sustainable development goals of UNESCO in order for it to be transcending after the pandemic and whatever will be done by the different sectors of the world when it comes to adhering to the different things that should be done in order to protect the quality of life. Kaya tayo mga kapatid, nakalagay kasi doon, bawal na yung plastic. Kaya ko nga kahapon, nagpabili ako ng kwek-kwek na sa tapat, para pala pinadala ko na lang yung mga kwek-kwek. Yung mga bagay-bagay-bang makakatipid tayo para hindi natin galisin yung plastic ay pwede natin gawin yun. Kahit yung pagbili ng mga solar Christmas lights, solar lights, at kung ano-ano pa ay mas makakatulong sa ating kalikasan. Tignan yung si Arya na maganda, binalagdala siyang tubig kasi yun na lang ang kanyang sustainability for the whole day para maging kasi katawan siya ni Kati. Di ba si Kati ang chuba-chuba, di ba? Ito lang siya. Anak Clarence, may pag-asa pa tayo dalawa. Pagbutihan lang natin yung pagbutiis at makakarating tayo dyan. So, pagsagaan ko ang ating mga gawain ng 3 araw kasi kailangan natin ito para mas lalo natin maturuan ng maayos yung mga estudyante natin para mamahalin yung ano man ang konteksto ng bawat isa. Ang ating mga master teachers, pinaalalahanan ko, asa ba sila? Oy, sarangan. Ano balita? Hindi ka na nilipat, di ba? Parang hindi ka piniyagan, no? Parang pinatiranak. Dito na lang siya para meron ka lang yung others dito, no? O, sige. Tumatakbo ka naman, di ba? Sir Tanto, wala naman, di ba? Hayaan mo na natin si Lolo dati kasi may dagat na kasi mamaya kaya medyo mabilis din siguro dapuan. Pero ang kagandahan na symptomatic lang sila. Tingnan niyo yung protocol i-implement din yung protocol kapag may mga ganyan sitwasyon Lolo nyo na symptomatic. Ito may protocol natin kung may mag-teacher na isa o kaya hanggang 3 na naging asymptomatic. Sila ay mag-home quarantine to observe ng 7 araw. After 7 araw, pag nag-antigen sila ng 6 na araw at negative na sila, papasok na sila pinalinisan. At yung mga estudyante nila ay hahati-hatiin din sa ibang mga klase. Or kapag lumampas na sa 3, nag-4 na yan, at 5, yun lang pag-blended learning yung mga klase na yun. Pero pag isa hanggang 3 lang, tayo ay gagawa ng paraan para magtuloy pa rin yung face-to-face na klase. Naintindihan. Basahin nyo ulit yung school protocol natin para hindi tayo nalilito. Mas meron tayong susundan na Biblia kung paano gagawin sa lahat. Yung mga masapitan natin, yung mga tanto ito, ay nantay ko na mag-meeting, ha? Kailangan matapos na yan, hanggang mamayang gabi. Wala. Nahihilo daw kasi makaloob na. Kaya naman si Jerome sa sila Frank. O kaya lang si Kevin, yung body hindi makakaakyat, makapawara. Yung mga ginagawa. Yun lang mga majujulat, ang mga pwede. O mga kapatid, yung mga kasamahan natin teacher dito,
natapos na complete academic requirements, pero hindi nakapag-thesis at gustong matapos, pwede na kayong matapos sa PIC para magdire-diretso yung inyong career at kayo ay makarating kung saan man kayo dapat na umalpas na sitwasyon. San Pablo, inaantay mo yung patinuhan. O, yung mga activities ko for today, for tomorrow, ay gawin natin ang ayos. Kailangan may output tayo ng 10% para makita yung accomplishment for the 2 days na workshop. At pinasasalamatan ko ang lahat, nagulisin ng maayos at maaga. Naku, may kinder ba nito? Ilan? Isa, dalawa. Pahinga ng attendance, 3. Di ba, kalahati kayo pag umaga? Bakit 3 lang kayo? Ang sabi, di ba? May sila grade 1, hindi lang yung attendance mamaya ha. Pakibigay sa akin ng attendance 1 selya para mabigay ko sa bawat grade level sino ang absent sa day 1. Ilang kayo lahat grade 1? Complete board and lodging. Sino ang isang nawawala? Ha? Ha? Aming klase dahil tatlong shifts kayo. Okay, grade 3. Tignan mo nga grade 3. Ay, marami ang wala. Doon marami ang wala. Anong nangyari doon sa mga wala? Taga-ibang eskwelahan na sila. Pwede naman, madali naman akong kausap. Total, 2 linggo na lang ako mahigit dito. Pwede mo naman silang talipate na may item. Kung ayaw nilang makisama kung ano yung dapat na gawin. Grade 5. Ilan ang nawawala sa mga sisiw ni Doña Mary John? At ito sila lahat? Ha? Bukod na Sir Dante na nasa bahay, sino ang nawawala pa? Si Ma'am Eva talagang nagpapagamot. Si Sir Sanyado, naka-outfit yan. Sino ka? O si Ma'am Marcel, sarin mo ng lola mo? Ha? Sino pa? Ay, hindi nakakatawa ha. Pamilya ko ng attendance, padala ko ng memo mamaya. Ha? Para malaman ko nila kung ano ang kahalagahan nito. Hindi naman ito para sa akin, kundi para sa inyo. Kasi kung ano yung makukuha yung kaalaman dito at yung certificate na inyong makukuha ay pwede nyo magamit sa mga susunod na pagkakataon at sa mga klase nyo sa araw-araw. Salamat sa lahat ng mga nandito at gawa sa Biyernes ay nandito kayo lahat para tayo ay sama-sama sa closing program. Magandang umaga at maraming salamat.
Thank you so much for Dr. Wilfred. Thank you so much po, ma'am. Ako ma'am. Ayan, so, paalala po bukas, hindi po tayo papasok ng maaga. Yung AM po ang may program bukas sa Friday, shortened period po tayo. Parang pakalaman. Yay! Kahit na lang yun. Right po yan ha. Wala pong mababago. Parang hindi nabago.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, let's put ourselves in the presence of God. Let us pray. Thank you, Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. Dear Heavenly Father, as we end our God seminar today, hear our closing prayer. Lord, and let your word be instilled in our lives. We started this seminar with you, and now we are closing it with you. We thank you that we are able to here today, gathered together despite all that is happening. We thank you for this day, for all the learnings we have learned from this seminar. We thank you for your gift of the Holy Spirit. Please fill us with your Spirit and may we be full of grace, joy, and peace because of your presence within us. Thank you for making this seminar a success.
We do not have done it without you because many of our plans that it is you who established them. May the things we have learned today fill our hearts and may we put them to action. Amen. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Linda. Please stay on your position for reminders and announcement of our God School Coordinator, Ma'am Annalyn Yucasar. Saglit na lang daw po.
Una-una po sa lahat, maraming salamat po sa mga kabuuan po na umatid po nito ng ating first day hybrid seminar at sa ating mga nagagandang MC. Ma'am Dane, once again, happy birthday. It is a special day. And Ma'am Cathy, and sa mga nanonood po sa YouTube, okay po, don't forget to send your screenshot and attendance for your advisor. And bukas po, opposite naman po, ang bukas po, wala po tayong umaga, hapon po ang ating seminar, YouTube, and then ang manonood po, ang nandito po ay ang umagang mga guro. So, ganun po. Tapos sa Friday po, to be announced, pag-uusapan pa po yung shortcut period. So, muli po, Ma'am Vilma, maraming salamat po at sa lahat ng speaker for today, God bless us all.